Hey guys, recently I've got a lot of new subscribers and views on my channel. There are a lot of questions like my workout split, what I eat, how often I train. I've decided to answer some of these questions and help you guys out. So, this will be the first question. Can I ask your diet? Because no matter how much you work out, if your diet isn't right, it won't work, in my opinion anyway. So, simply working out and eating whatever you like is a very specific thing. I wouldn't say it will not work, because you will gain strength because you're training with the resistance and you are providing your body the calories that it needs, and if you're sleeping well you will still increase muscle mass and you will still increase strength. But most likely, since you're eating whatever you want and how much you want, you will eat quite a lot and you will be in caloric surplus. And when you're in caloric surplus, your surplus should be about 250 to 500 calories and not more. If it's more, the body can't use all those calories for good and it will just store it for later, and it will basically turn to fat. And we are looking to build muscle and not fat. If you're a strongman or you are very interested in powerlifting, you can have the surplus a lot bigger than 250 to 500 calories because your main priority is strength and you don't care about aesthetics and your look and your body weight. But in calisthenics, your body weight is very important because you're working with it, and it's a whole different ball game. So it really depends on your goal. What do you actually want to do? Are you a powerlifter? Maybe you want to be a strongman. Maybe you are training in calisthenics. It really depends on your goal, on your personal preference. But if you want to be lean and focus on muscle building, on having an aesthetic physique, then your surplus should be only 250 to 500 calories. But if you are looking for maximum strength gain, then you can have a surplus that is a lot bigger. So eating as much as you want and whatever you like, I mean, yeah, it's not the best idea because food like fast food is not good in any way because it doesn't provide you enough protein for muscle repair, and you most likely won't get any nutrients that you actually need. There is not a whole lot of vitamins, there is not a whole lot of fiber in those type of foods, and it will work against your health. So better focus on whole foods, which has complex carbs, which has high protein, which has the omega-3, omega-6, omega-9 fatty acids. For example, fish is great, white fish is excellent food choice. You can eat oatmeal, which is great for carbs, great food of a carb choice. You can have chicken breast, eggs, Greek yogurt, protein shake. For example, whey protein is an excellent protein source. So you just choose some foods for each category. For protein, I'm gonna eat this. For carbs, I'm gonna eat this. For example, for protein, I'm gonna eat Greek yogurt. For carbs, I'm gonna eat oatmeal. And for fat, I'm gonna use olive oil or maybe peanut butter. And that's how you settle your diet. And then you just need to figure out the amount that you're gonna eat, and you will be good to go. The second question is, I kinda don't agree with the last one. And what he's talking about is that calisthenics are free. I made a video where I said 5 benefits of doing calisthenics, and the last benefit that I talk about is that calisthenics are free because you just go to the park and train. But he doesn't agree with me. He's saying it costs a lot of money. You still need to buy healthy food, no? But hey, nonetheless, thank you for the motivational content you're providing us. Thank you, man. And I'm not exactly talking about diet and food. I was talking about the memberships, the equipment. In most countries in Europe, there is a parks for calisthenics, there is some training places that you can go to for free. You don't have to pay anything. I can't make content for every single country in the entire world. I understand that there are some countries that don't have parks like that where you can train calisthenics, and then yeah, you need to buy your own equipment and it can cost something. But for most part in places like USA, in Germany, in Italy, or whatever country you choose. In Europe in general, most countries have access to the calisthenics parks, and it is essentially free. You just go there and train, and that's why I was saying that it is free. And buying healthy food and food in general, I don't think that counts as calisthenics. It's a diet. Yes, you need money for eating food, but junk food and healthy food, actually, they're pretty much the same in costs. I wouldn't say that healthy food is a lot more expensive than junk food, because it's not. You can buy very cheap healthy quality food as well. For example, oatmeal. Like a half kilo of oatmeal costs maybe €1, and a bag of chips costs 150. So it's really all about choices, in my opinion. Yes, there are some expensive healthy foods, but obviously there are also some expensive junk foods, and there are also some cheap junk foods. There are also some cheap quality foods. So it's all about choice and dedication. The question 3 is, or comment 3, more to say, but I wanted to explain this because this comment is getting some upvotes, and he's saying this is literally just a diet change, nothing to do with the calisthenics. And he's talking about my 2-year calisthenics transformation, where I lost 20 kilograms, and like in the last 4 months of that 2-year period, I gained a little bit of muscle, and I got pretty aesthetic and looked great. And he's saying that that's just a diet change and has nothing to do with the calisthenics. But all those 2 years I basically did only calisthenics except for the legs. In the first year I did train legs at the gym, and I have that shown on my YouTube channel. You can check out my old videos and you can see that I was training my legs at the gym. And I was always open about it. I never hide that fact, and I always told guys, yes, I'm training my legs at the gym. But that was for the first year, because after that the COVID stuff started and everything was closed. And then I was doing 100% full calisthenics, no additional weights, nothing like that. I was just doing calisthenics. And that transformation is basically me doing calisthenics, so how can you say it has nothing to do with it if it was all that I actually did? And I was always open about the fact that what I did powerlifting back in the day. So yeah. Moving on to the question number 4, which is how many reps and sets should we do as beginners? And this is question from video where I showed 5 basic calisthenics exercises which are great for beginners. And I know a lot of people told me that pull-ups are not a beginner exercise, but the thing is, you don't have to do body weight at pull-ups. You can use a band to have the exercise easier, so you can still do it as a beginner. Just use a very tight band, which will help you like a lot. Let's say 85 to 150 pounds of help. And then even as a complete beginner, you will still be able to do the pull-ups. Just use bands. Or in gyms, if you go to the gym, I know there's a pull-up place where you can put your knees on like a pad, and it will help you do the pull-ups. So pull-ups can still be beginner exercise. You just have to think outside the box a little bit and use some tools to help you get started. And in my opinion, bands are one of the best tools to get started and improve your form and technique in pretty much all exercises. If you're trying to learn muscle up, for example, bands are essential. I didn't use them, and that was my mistake on my part, in my opinion. If I used bands, I would learn it a lot sooner and my form would be a lot better quicker. So I definitely recommend using bands. And for the question, how many reps and sets, I would say go for 5 sets per exercise, and a rep range, it depends on your goal. If you want to increase strength, you can do 3 to 5 reps. If you want to have a little bit more mass but still improve your strength as well, you can do 5 to 8 or 5 to 10 reps. And if you're looking for endurance, you want to do a lot of reps and have like a very solid base of endurance, then you can do 10 plus reps or 12 plus reps and go from there, because then it's all about endurance. So it depends on your goal, but for sets I would say 5. But if you are really looking for a very volume heavy workouts and you want to include a lot of sets and you want to work on your endurance, in that regard you can do a lot more sets as well. And the last question we're gonna talk about is intermittent fasting and a calorie deficit the same thing, and can I use intermittent fasting to lower my body fat percentage and still will I be able to build muscle doing intermittent fasting? So let's start with is intermittent fasting and calorie deficit the same thing? And the answer is no. Calorie deficit means that you're eating less calories than your body burns on a daily basis, and that way your body doesn't have enough calories for its daily activities, and it has to take the missing calories from your fat storage, and that is how you lose weight. And intermittent fasting, it's actually something completely different. It's just your eating patterns and eating time window. So let's say a regular person starts eating from 9 the breakfast and he eats the dinner at, let's say, 9 as well, and goes to sleep at 11, so 12 hours of eating. That is his eating window. But by doing intermittent fasting, you're cutting that eating window a lot shorter, maybe 6 hours, maybe 4 hours. Some people even do 1 meal a day, and by that you're reducing the likelihood to eat in caloric surplus because you just don't have enough time to eat a lot of calories, and also it's very difficult because your stomach gets full and you just can't squeeze in those calories in because you just don't have enough time and don't have enough space in your stomach because you will feel very full. Let's say you do 1 meal a day. Can you imagine eating, let's say, 3,500 calories in 1 meal? It will be very difficult if you eat foods which are in very high quality, let's say rice. You eat some vegetables. Do you really think you can eat 3,500 calories worth of rice, veggies, maybe some fish or meat or whatever? Yes, you can eat maybe 3,500 calories in junk food, but we're talking about quality food, which is not calorie dense foods. So it's definitely a great way to lose weight, but it's not the same thing as calorie deficit. They're just related, because most people who do the fasting usually are in caloric deficit, and that's why I think this misconception is where it's coming from. And he means if he's doing the fasting and he will be in caloric deficit and he will lose his body fat percentage, will he be able to build muscle at the same time? And it's very difficult question, and it really depends on how advanced of a lifter you are. If you're a beginner, I think you definitely can build muscle and lose fat at the same time because you still have a lot of room for gains, and by having that room you still are able to do that. But if you are a very advanced lifter and you reach your ceiling already and you're in caloric deficit, you definitely won't build muscle because you're already at that peak and you can't gain more. But you can afford, in that regard, lose the muscle because you already have it so much, and you can afford to lose it a little bit, but by becoming leaner you will just look better. So guys, those were some of the questions that you guys left me. You can definitely leave more comments in this video comment section down below, and I will try to answer some of them in the next video that I do, where I answer some of your questions, guys. And hopefully you enjoyed this video, learned something new. I'm really trying to help you guys. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I see you guys in the next one.